Hi, I'd like to welcome you to our hybrid data conference at the session where we focus on customers and understanding our customers' perspective on harnessing to data. And I'd like to introduce first three members of our panel. First from Sabre is Gupta. Gupta, if you could introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Gupta Gogula. I'm Director of Software Engineering at Sabre. I lead development of inventory, availability processing, and revenue integrity products that help airlines to optimize revenue. I have been in software development and leadership roles for the last 20 years. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Next to you, Ralph, from Finastra. Could you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Ralf Schlosser. I'm working at Finastra mainly for the financial messaging marketplace. We are running service bureaus in Switzerland, UK, and US.
Thank you very much. And then Bill, to you from Goldstar Software.
Hi, I'm Bill Bach from Goldstar Software. I've been an Actian or Btrieve developer since 1991 and provide support to companies both developing applications and using those applications with this database.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. I appreciate your time today. Let's start with our first question, just to give the audience a little bit more background. Very briefly, could each of you talk about how your business uses Actian technology today? Just a sense of the use case and what the Actian product does for you. Maybe we'll stay in the same order to keep it simple. So Gupta, if you could kick it off, it's from Sabre.
Sure, Jeff. We use Actian NoSQL as a database in Sabre that powers our inventory and availability processing solution for airlines. Airlines to provide optimal management of seats while increasing revenues by managing our seats and ancillaries. The product not only serves inventory of record, but also provides a high NoSQL scaling level of scaling of availability transactions. It helps us to process over 7 billion transactions a day and roughly over 150,000 read transactions at peak and over 1,000 updates at peak within 10 to 20 millisecond range. In addition, we also use Actian NoSQL as a cloud deployed product where we provide the equal accurate availability to our third-party shopping providers as we do within the Sabre ecosystem. Yeah, so Actian NoSQL inherently has the ability to support complex data structures, provide transaction support, allow fast navigation of data, and provide in-memory cache capabilities. All of these features have successfully enabled us to not only serve our purpose, but also scale as the product grew over the many years of our existence.
Thank you. Hey, Bill, let's go to you. Could you tell us just a little bit about how you and the companies you support use Actian technology to enable your business?
Sure. Well, internally, we certainly use the Zen database to streamline our accounting practices, use that to suck data in and generate reports and handle things like that, do a lot of the transactional work that really need to be done to manage any business. Our customers really use the Zen database to track all sorts of data in every vertical market you can think of, every horizontal stratification you can imagine, from a one-user site all the way up to 1,200 plus users. They're using it to store data, do transaction analytics on it, and basically just manage their entire environments.
Very good. And then, Ralph, to you, could you a little bit about how you're using Actian technology today?
Yes, Actian is our main database we use in our data centers for the financial marketing software we develop in our house, and we have more than 400 customers over the different countries. As I said, main place for the data centers is Switzerland, and the database itself is enabling us the high volumes we have with our customers. We straight write it to the database. We have to be transaction safe. So from this side, this is what Actian is doing for us since more than 10 years.
Very good. You know what? I'm going to jump to the next question, which is right to what is on everybody's top of mind, the dynamic impact globally of the pandemic. Of course, really could have predicted this occurring. I think we're all learning as we're going. Now that we are more than a year into it, and hopefully things are starting to get better across the globe day by day, my question to you is, as you look at your businesses, what both positive or negative impact did COVID have? Did it speed things up? Did it slow things down? Did it change the need for different capabilities? I'm just curious for a brief comment on, as you reflect this past year, what was the major impact that COVID-19 had? And maybe I'll change the order around and start with you, Bill.
All right. Well, first off, probably like everybody else, we saw a huge dip in activity as everything shut down and just everybody didn't really know what to do. But over time, obviously, companies got the hang of it. They got the hang of working from home, and companies started coming back and starting to do more in the way of development. Internally, we've certainly seen lots of spare time for working on internal development projects and doing system upgrades. And lately, over the last year, we've really seen a lot of other companies doing the same, going ahead and going through with their upgrade plans while they've got a lot of people out of the office. They're doing remote support. Downtime is really a little bit less of an issue, so we're seeing that. Certainly, we've seen everybody's comfort level in video conferencing increase dramatically. Used to be, you try to get online with a customer just over remote control, and it was difficult at best. Nowadays, this year, it's basically become second nature for most people. They can hop on a video call, they can hop on a remote control session, and even the most basic users are able to jump on those sessions, which really helps our support industry. And essentially, companies are doing more with fewer people. So internally, we've certainly cut costs wherever we can last year. And then this year, we're just kind of reaping the benefits of that by reducing those costs, which is certainly helping the bottom line.
Thank you very much. And how about you, Gupta? What impact, as you look now, has COVID-19 had on Sabre?
Yes. Since we are in travel industry, we did have initial headwinds for the first few months, but we continue to focus on our technology and innovation and business transformation of the products. So what we have accelerated the focus as the year went on is to accelerate our migration plans of IT infrastructure into cloud, as well as modernizing our applications to be able to scale, adapt to cloud and scale easily based on the operational needs. In terms of business, we are focusing more on AI-powered travel technology in retailing, distribution, and fulfillment areas, where we can give a better conversion for our airlines and agencies, as well as provide a better travel experience by fine-tuning our applications to able to predict the customer needs and use data and so on to achieve this goal in the long term.
Thank you. And then Ralph, to you, could you tell us the impact that you've seen from COVID?
Yeah, first of all, from the financial messaging side, we had a positive effect as we have seen much more transactions in the market, which created at the beginning some headaches that we really had to move it and work from home. Everybody make sure that all the systems up and running, and we were able to keep with all these high volumes we have seen on our systems. That was the first thing we have seen. On the other hand, we have quite a lot of customer projects where we have seen that things slowed down at the beginning, but over time this has more and more come back to normal. On internal side, I mean, as mentioned before, everybody uses now Teams. We were before working 100% in the office. Now we are working 100% from home. Less traveling. I mean, we had a lot of travels before to meet customers, to meet internally in Finastra. So from this side, it changed quite a lot for us, but most of the things went into a very positive way. So.
Okay, very good, very good. So it sounds like while this has certainly been disruptive, it has had both challenges, but also some positive impacts as it is made the demand for data and to be more responsive, absolutely critical. With that, let's move to our next slide. And I think the audience would be interested in the context of the cloud. We've spoken about the cloud a lot today. And not just about, is the cloud a good thing? Is the cloud going to enable new capabilities? But talking about pragmatically the journey to the cloud. How does one get there? So few of us have true greenfields. All of us, almost all, with rare exceptions, start with data, start with existing systems and investment, interact with other companies that have systems and data. So my question broadly is, when you think of your journey to the cloud and where you are on that journey, how would you characterize it? How would you describe that journey, where it is today and where you expect it to be maybe a year from now? And maybe to mix it up, we'll start with Gupta today for this question.
Yes. Yeah, sure, Jeff. So we are in adapt stage of cloud for one product, and we are exploring in the other product. So I'll explain where we are. So we already are in cloud for almost 5 years. We are one of the first products with Actian NoSQL as well to be in the cloud, where we leverage Actian NoSQL's vStream API to be able to sync our databases in our local data center to cloud data center in real time, multiple times a second, and within 2 seconds on average, the data is synced. So that is where we are in cloud, already a product, and we are exploring another product, the product that is inventory of record, where we interact with many systems within Sabre. We are exploring our possibilities, are the best approach to move forward. Right now we are evaluating the application under the characteristics that we need to support in terms of performance, latency, scalability requirements, and minimizing the downtime or not incurring a downtime while migrating. So these are the aspects that we are evaluating to figure out the path to move the rest of the applications into cloud.
Well, thank you. And then maybe to you, Ralph. When you think of Finastra and your company's journey to the cloud, how would you characterize that today in general?
Yeah, for Finastra itself, it's a strategy to go to the cloud, and they are partnering with cloud partners. So, and from our side, I mean, we are a smaller part of Finastra financial messaging marketplaces. We are also already with some applications in the cloud, and we are moving more of our applications into the cloud. For Switzerland, it's a little bit with all the restrictions. We have some homework to do, but in US and UK, we are already working on the cloud.
Thank you. And then Bill, how about from your perspective? How is your ecosystem looking at the cloud? Where are they in their journey?
Well, internally, we're a small company, so we have not really done much in the way of cloud stuff, simply because you don't want to trust anything if you can't see where it keeps its brain. So we have that issue to deal with. So a lot of our stuff is still held in-house. However, our customer base, we've got a lot of developers who are providing cloud solutions, and we're certainly providing support for those environments, trying to get the right combination of hardware, software, and deal with the costs associated. It's certainly been a challenge. But we've got a lot of customers who have huge data sets in those cloud environments and are just essentially trying to keep everything up and running with everybody running remote.
Appreciate that. Well, that brings me up to the next question that I'm going to bring up, which is when you are looking at cloud, I have a list here of 10 challenges that many customers are seeing, both for cloud and also for edge, and sometimes both. And what I'm curious is, of these 10, which one really resonates with you? You may have multiple challenges, but if each one of you could speak to the one that maybe resonates the most, that's top of the mind most, if you could briefly speak to that, I'd be interested to understand, what do you see the biggest challenges with moving to the cloud, adopting data at the edge in 2021? Gupta, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, sure, Jeff. So we have many applications in Sabre, so it depends on the application. Many of the challenges are applicable. I will speak to the use case that I'm closer, or what I have worked with. So the couple of things that come to my mind is that these applications that we manage are 24/7, highly available, as well as with varying traffic patterns. So we need to fine-tune applications to be able to run efficiently, to be available, but also auto-scale based on the transaction needs, so that we minimize the computing cost. While talking about cost, another thing is that due to high rate of transactions, we also are conscious of the data transfer cost, and as well as the application is designed in such a way that the overall cost is minimized for the application nature and traffic patterns. Obviously, security is the one that comes in mind, especially when we use third-party software and tools. It requires the applications to be compliant as per the security standards that we need to follow. Another thing that is a major thing that really drives a large timeline of planning is, we have many products, legacy systems integration with a lot of newer applications and legacy applications. They are interconnected from an end-to-end experience to the customer. So migrating this requires us to be concerned about various aspects like points of failure, end-to-end latency, migration strategy, ensuring there is no downtime in a successful manner. So these are the factors that are really important, and from what I see are the challenges that we evaluate in our design and planning phases to make sure we are successful.
Okay, I appreciate that. And Ralph, why don't we go to you? When you look at this list, what challenge really resonates with you as strategic to Finastra?
I mean, we are located in different places over the world, and as I said, the main part where I'm working for is Switzerland, the financial messaging, and there everybody knows that Switzerland and banking is highly restricted, especially data governance and so on is really something they are quite keen on. So this is, from that side, the biggest challenge we see there, to be compliant with all these rules and regulations we have there. We have FINMA and other regulators which are looking exactly what you do and where the data are kept and so on. For the other countries like UK and US, it's a bit different. There we have more challenges than also to have legacy systems and to integrate them into the cloud base.
Okay, appreciate that. And then Bill, how about you, from your perspective, when you think about your customers and the challenge that really resonates with them in general?
Yeah, the biggest problem that we've seen with our customer base has been in scalability and suitability of the various cloud platforms. Just about every platform has many different machine types you can purchase, rent, lease, whatever you want to call it. The problem is that not all of them really translate well to database work. Some of them are really designed more for web servers or things like that. So when you start trying to do database work where latency to and from the disk is an issue, latency to and from the client machines is an issue. Now you start to really get into some really deep troubleshooting, and it's troubleshooting that's far more difficult in a cloud environment because you don't oftentimes have access to that underlying infrastructure. You can't just go look at the network and see what's going on. So the biggest thing that we find is customers just trying to pick what is the best platform within each vendor. And then, of course, dealing with the cost of that. Oftentimes they have to beef it up because either the memory is too low or the disk speeds are too low for a given configuration. So they have to switch to a larger one. And now that starts increasing the costs and increasing the costs even further. And certainly there's a limited budget to go around as well. So that's really where we're fighting the biggest complaints out there.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. It sounds like we're very much in the journey, and while there's a lot of interest in it, there are different concerns and challenges that each one of us are looking at in our various businesses. With that, I think we've come to the end of our session. I do want to thank all of you gentlemen for your input about your businesses that are literally spread around the world on how you are driving your hybrid data journey to the cloud, to the edge, to harness data for competitive advantage. So with that, thank you very much, and I appreciate your time. We've learned a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks.